Greetings and welcome to the Pampering Myself podcast, an advocacy for self-care. We'll laugh, we'll cry, and most importantly, we'll learn that you can't pour from an empty cup. You'll hear stories, interviews, and conversations which will empower you in living your best life. Greetings, podcast listeners. I hope you all had a Merry Christmas. Can you believe it? We are just days away from 2020. I don't know about you, but I'm looking forward to a new vision. God has certainly been good to me this year, and I'm looking for even more blessings in 2020. I want to welcome you to the 2020 Vision Series, Seeing Things from a Different Perspective, podcast series part number 3. Now, the purpose of this series is to prepare us for 2020. Whatever your goals, dreams, or purpose is for the new year, you want to be successful. But we know just wanting to be successful isn't enough, meaning we have work to do, and that work is on ourselves. So in parts 1 and 2, I challenged you to put at least one tip into practice. Hopefully you have. I know the devil is busy, but we have to find a way. Implementing some of those tips will be helpful. I know I'm still challenged myself with tip number 4, which is don't waste your time or energy. And that is on others. But I'm working on it. You see, when people show you who they are, believe them. That's all I have to say about that. I sound like Forrest Gump, don't I? If you haven't had the opportunity to listen to the first 2 parts, I encourage you to do so. But before we get started, I'd like to review the 5 tips from part number 2. Tip number 6 was to remember your why. Remember what it is that you want to do or you want to accomplish it. Every time you think that there's a distraction or you're faced with some type of consequences or think you're a failure, just remember your why. Tip number 7 was to have faith. Now, we know you have to have faith of a mustard seed in some instance because you will be challenged all the time. And every time you get close, the more you'll be challenged. So have faith in what it is that you want to accomplish that is possible. Tip number 8 was to speak positive thoughts to yourself. Every now and then I know we get a little down, depressed maybe when things don't come our way, and we start to believe either what others have said or that it is impossible. So speak those thoughts and it will keep you going. Tip number 9, stop chasing success. I know I shared a story on this one about chasing something. Just let it happen naturally. It'll come. If you just do some of the things that are natural, then success will come naturally. And number 10, don't seek happiness. See, I believe happiness is a choice because no matter what the situation is, things happen and you just got to pray about it and move on. I know it's easier said when it's not you, but it happens to all of us. So you don't seek happiness. Happiness will come and you make your choice to be happy. Now, to get a better understanding of those tips I just mentioned, sorry, but you'll have to listen to part 2. So, okay, let's move on to the tips for today, part 3. I'm going to start off with tip number 11, sleep. Now, in this series here, we're going to talk about mind, body, and soul because it's really all a part of success. I mean, if you don't get enough sleep, there are a lot of things that can be affected by that. Number 1, we'll start off with your health because sleep deprivation can lead to serious health problems. If you don't believe me, just contact the Center for Disease Control or go on their website and you will see. And until I actually heard all of the things that are affected by sleep, I was kind of surprised. But not too many that I'm going to mention because I'm a witness. Serious problems such as heart disease, diabetes, hypertension, it can make you forgetful. It can age your skin, such as fine lines or dark circles under your eyes. And of course, it can cause accidents. It can cause accidents because you're not fully alert. So if you're feeling fatigue, irritable, or lack concentration, you could not be getting enough sleep. And I think we all know when we don't get enough sleep, how it affects our mood and change our attitude, our personality, uh, make us do things that we wouldn't normally do. But there are some suggestions and remedies for this problem. I don't know if you'll like them or not. I know the first one is to go to bed and wake up at the same time. Well, I may not go to bed at the same time, but most often I wake up at the same time, even when I'm off. I get a little irritated at that, but that's my body's mechanical clock naturally waking me up because I'm accustomed to waking up that time 5 days a week. Minimize your alcohol, nicotine, and caffeine before you go to bed. I know a lot of people like to have a nightcap. Well, obviously, that does not work. Or me, sometimes I like to have, if it's in the wintertime, I might want some tea or some hot chocolate or even drink on occasion some pop. Well, those things also affect the way you sleep. And I certainly know that eating affects it because on occasion I've had to eat late and then try to go to bed and I'm miserable. I'm miserable even laying down. And the other suggestion would be to exercise regularly. Yeah, that's the bad word, exercise. Okay, but we want to do that in 2020 because it will help us sleep better, get more rest, function better, and it will contribute to our success. Number 12 is giving of your time. Studies have shown that volunteering and helping others counteract the effects of stress, anger, and anxiety. So while you're generously being a blessing to others, you'll reap the many health benefits. And let's do this all year long. We're in a season of Thanksgiving. It's funny how they call this a season of Thanksgiving. It should be 365 days a year. So I'm putting it out there. Season of Thanksgiving is now going to be 365 days a year. So let's look at things like giving of our time in certain areas or acts of kindness. I saw on Facebook one of my club members mention that she was going to do an act of kindness every day and challenging someone. And when you do that, you don't think about your own stress or anxiety because it's always someone worse off than you, unfortunately. Tip number 13, have a sense of humor. Now, do you know people who are always serious? They never smile, laugh, no sense of humor. I feel sorry for them, but I used to be one. Once again, the research shows that laughter truly is medicine. It's been said that laughter strengthens your immune system, boosts mood, diminishes pain, and protects you from the dangerous effects of stress, bringing your mind and body into balance. And I believe that. I mean, how hard is it to be mad at someone if they make you laugh? Or to be depressed if you laugh? Or to be sad if you laugh? Haven't you heard or said it maybe yourself? If someone says something, you said, I needed that laugh. Why? Because it made you feel good. Because it triggered the release of endorphins, the body's natural feel good chemical. So get a sense of humor if you don't have one. Tip number 14 is to make healthy food choices. Now, this is a good one. When we talk about healthy food choices, let's think of it as a lifestyle change, not just for the new year or to get into an outfit or for an event, or is that just me? Now, in all seriousness, we need to minimize our sugar intake, our caffeine, and a whole lot of other foods and ingredients that aren't good for us. Now, when we talk about sugar, I remember seeing a comparison to how much sugar is actually in a bottle of pop. And I was blown away because I can't even imagine that. And then they showed if you drank a bottle of pop every single day, how that adds up to a year's worth of sugar. Visualize that, and just think of it that you consume that much sugar in your system, which is a chemical that is not good for you. I'm going to leave you with that picture. And tip number 15 is stop and smell the roses. Now, I'll never forget this. Someone told me this one time, and I didn't take it to heart. But I eventually got the message. See, it's important to appreciate all your blessings and the beauty of life. Actually, it's impossible to appreciate all your blessings and the beauty of life if you're constantly on the move. Every chance I get, I stop. As a matter of fact, it's intentional. And by doing so, I allow the Holy Spirit to show me things and work within me. And that's a beautiful thing. So I'm going to challenge you as I did in the first two parts, and hopefully you have taken to heart at least one from each one of the series and try to incorporate all of them in your daily living. I'm going to challenge you to try to get more sleep. If it means getting on a regular schedule, do that, whether it's going to bed or waking up. But if you're a working person, you're already probably doing that, and you will see a difference. You may have to turn the TV off. Please put that phone down. Whatever it takes to get the required amount of sleep, or at least a sufficient amount. And the what they consider efficient amount of sleep is at least 7 to 8 hours a day or night. I know that seems like an awful long time, and most people don't. And a deep sleep, not just like a wake up every 2 hours, something of that nature, but a nice deep sleep. Now, I see so many people that pick up the phone at night. Move the phone away so that that's not a distraction. When you wake up and get on the phone and say, I can't go to sleep, well, you've just ruined your chances of going back to sleep immediately. So I'm going to challenge you, if the phone is a problem, put it to the side. Tip number 2 is if you don't have time to volunteer, try random acts of kindness. Or go out of your way to do something nice for someone, a stranger on the street, a neighbor, a friend. Donate to a worthy cause. You know, a scripture that you reap what you sow. Consider that. Tip number 3, if you, like I was and had no sense of humor, start out by reading jokes to make you laugh and then try telling them. Share funny stories. Learn to laugh and smile more. It's contagious. And it was something that I had to intentionally do. I didn't get jokes. I mean, it was something I never had even considered that was possible. But I was one of those people. Now, I find humor in things. And I even tell jokes myself. They may not be funny to others, but they funny to me. Tip number 4, the holidays are almost over. Start now developing better eating habits if you haven't already. It will benefit you in the long run. Do for your health and not for a temporary reason. Because once the holidays are over, then people will forget. The news reports will start telling you that you'll give up on your New Year's resolutions. They'll start out on January 1st by putting that in your head, and then they'll move on, and every day they'll say how many people statistically have drop those New Year's resolutions. So I don't like to think of them as a New Year's resolution. I like to think of them as goals and as a lifestyle change. And that way, it might be better. And the final tip, smell those roses. In other words, relax. I learned the laundry and the dishes and the grocery shopping and whatever else I had to do will be there after I relax. And you know what? It's never ending. When I wash these dishes, a few hours later, there's going to be some more. And tomorrow, there'll be some more dirty clothes. So I don't let it stress me out anymore that it can't be tip top every day. And don't fill your calendar every day with something to do. How about stamping a relaxation day or a pampering day on one of those dates? I was listening to a news report one day about this serenity room that this school had done. I think I mentioned it on one of these podcasts before. And so I created a serenity room in my basement for such an occasion, filled with things that make me feel relaxed. And every now and then, when I need to, I go down there, sit in my massage chair, and fire up my waterfalls and my incense burner. And I even have a TV if I want to watch something on television, or if I want to listen to music, or if I want to listen to nothing. I have a nice blanket that a real soft plush blanket that I use to put on. If I feel like a glass of wine, or if I feel like wearing my spa robe, whatever mood I'm in, it's a me day, a pampering myself day. So I encourage you to do that as well. And things will come to you in divine order. So until next time, I want to wish you all a happy New Year's. Be safe and be blessed. And hopefully you have heard some tips that will encourage you moving forward in the new year and help you be more successful, mind, body, and soul. And thank you for listening, subscribing to our channel. In 2020, we'll come back in 2 weeks with the final part 4 series of the Seeing Things from a Different Perspective 2020 Vision. Good night.